Welcome back, everybody. So this pandemic has reinforced the point that learning can take place beyond a physical space. However, if your child is struggling to make the shift to online learning, how do we help them to adapt and to excel? Lance McFarlane is a co-founder of Sophomore Academics, and he has a few tips to share this morning. Hi, Lance. Morning.
Hello, good morning, Simone.
Good to talk to you this morning, sir. Would be even better to see you. I'm sure I will in a bit. Tell me a little bit about Sophomore Academics. This is a group you co-founded with Dwayne. Tell me a little bit about the background behind it.
All right, as you said, it's a program that was co-founded by myself and Dwayne Burke. We have been doing it for a number of years now. We met back when we were both teaching at St. Hugh's High School. Right now, we grew over the years. We now offer programs for students in high school from first form straight up to fifth form. So that's from the first form starting this September straight up to the C6 students who are, well, we consider our fourth formers and fifth formers C6 students. So our fourth formers are prepared to sit the C6 exams. We've been doing this again for some time now. We're looking at 10 years.
Wow. And the aim is to really take some of the pressure off the kids so that they're not sitting everything in fifth form. You want to give them an opportunity to do what they can do before to kind of lighten that mental load and also the physical load heading into CSEC.
That is very much true. So that was the whole idea of Sophomore Academics. It was really geared towards, it started out being geared towards fourth formers sitting the exams in fourth form. As you say, just taking off a bit of the load. So in fifth form, they'll have more time for the remaining subjects and also focusing on extracurricular activities, which is also very much important when it comes to seeking scholarships, etc.
Love that. I love that because I think it's important. The extracurricular part is a piece that I don't think a lot of parents understand why it's important for the kids, but they also get discipline, and it also gives them a little bit of variation and diversity with what they're doing. Can't be all academics all the time, right?
That is very much true. That is very much true. I myself, I ran track and field when I was back.
Me too! Even though them laugh after me every day. All right, so tell me a little bit about this online learning now, Lance. You guys obviously would have also had to move into this area given what's happening with COVID-19. And there are students who struggle. Interestingly, there are students who excel, because my daughter tells me she thinks she learned better online than in the classroom, which is interesting. But there are students who struggle with this space, I guess, based on the number of students in the class and based on the methods used. Would you say generally that it is more conducive for the older children to learn via this medium than the younger kids?
Well, I would say that in the household, it is easier for the parents to leave the older children alone, head off to work, and a lot of the responsibility is on the teenage student for themselves to actually create that structure for themselves throughout the day. So for the household, it is easier if the household has teenage children as opposed to the little toddlers, because toddlers need supervision, right? But adapting to the change, younger persons should adapt to change more easily than older persons. So the struggles that we face as adults, a lot of the younger children, they will adapt fairly or relatively easier.
All right, so let's talk through some of the tips that will help the students to adapt. So one, we're talking about your study area and ensuring that it's ergonomically designed. I don't know if everybody can afford to do this, but let's talk about the importance of this.
The importance of this really goes back to the health of the student, right? And it's not only for students, but everybody who is working online throughout the entire day. They're working from home. This habit that we have of sitting on the bed and the laptop is on the bed and we are crouched over, it is going to do a lot of harm to the back. Okay, and so it is the same for the children. All right, so at the very least, your posture during these long meetings, we have to pay attention to posture of our body because you have something called like pinched nerves. It's really painful.
So
And the
make sure you have
children can get
a good chair that can keep you upright and a nice desk at least,
and a nice desk. All
or
right,
a
and it
desk.
can be makeshift. It can be makeshift. You don't have to necessarily purchase it. There
Right,
might be items around the house you can improvise so that you
right.
maintain posture.
Okay, but the main thing you're saying is forget the bed and the laptop on the bed or a computer on the bed and the hunching over because that will cause you problems. Then you say to maintain your routines for hygiene, getting energized and getting dressed to start your study day or your work day. So don't just get up out of the bed and go straight into class or straight into that Zoom meeting
Because we want to just get ourselves ready for a productive day. Get yourself into a routine, get your body as well into a routine that it is familiar with so that you can go in, day out fairly easily. All
yeah.
right. So you get up, you get ready, you eat your breakfast if that is what you normally do. You put on proper attire, comfortable and appropriate, just in case you have to turn on the camera. All right.
Correct.
So if the teacher calls on you, you don't have to go wait 2-3 minutes to put on something at that time. All right.
Okay.
So the momentum of the class needs to carry on.
All right. And then you remove all the distractions. You cannot do school or meeting while the TV is on, is what you're saying?
With the distractions, what I am saying is listen, just you're at home and there are more distractions. And the class management from the teacher's end and class management is so important to how students learn in a classroom. But a lot of it has been taken away from the teachers. So it's really more now have been shifted to the student and the parents. All right, so remove the distractions. Don't
Yeah.
even trick yourself into thinking that you can listen to the radio while you're studying or watching
Correct.
TV. No, you
Correct.
can't.
It is a trick. And then you advise participate in the class so it makes the lesson more interesting and then use this period to become a more independent learner. We have to go, Lance, but I have one more question for you before we leave. We're talking about tips to help the person who is attending this online session, whether it's a class or a work meeting or whatever it is. What is the responsibility of the teacher or the person who is having this meeting to make it as engaging as possible? So any tools that they can use to make it interactive or, as opposed to just talking to the screen for the entire session?
All right. Well, in talking to the screen for the entire session, I would advise though that teachers try to call the names of the students, get them engaged. So once the students feel engaged, they'll be more alert and everybody loves when their names are called. So teachers definitely do that. Remember, it's not Zoom alone. There's WhatsApp. There's also in using Zoom features. You can go into YouTube videos.
Right.
This online learning allows you a whole new space to do a lot of things that you would have to wait to the next day to do.
Yeah.
You can do it same time. Show them the video. You don't have to. So when you reach home, you do this. No, you do it same time. Share screen, and you're good to go.
Right. So just learn all the options that are there to make the classes as engaging as possible. Thank you for these tips, Sir Lance. Appreciate it this morning. And all the best to you as the new school year approaches, whatever that does look like. I'm co-founder of Sophomore Academics, Lance McFarlane. Please tell Dwayne we said howdy. Up next, a new take on a popular playground game, Mercy. I see them setting up in, I don't know what the expectation is here, but it's going to make you smile. There's something to smile about is next. Is what you want us to do with this. Oh, double dutch.